Hello and welcome to the Momxious podcast. My name is Paola Sur and I'm your host. Let's talk about motherhood, anxiety, and facing our own monsters. Based on my book, The Anxious Mom Manifesto, we are going to talk about anxiety, encouraging an open conversation about mental health and motherhood. So let's get started. Hello, welcome back to those who have been listening. And to those who are new, I am Paola Sur, your host, and this is the Momxious podcast. I have been talking about in the previous episodes, and this is what I want to do in these first 10 episodes of this Momxious podcast, about the subjects that I touch in my book, The Anxious Mom Manifesto. It's a book that I wrote about my journey of healing and finding methods with examples and tips and lessons to control your anxiety monster on a daily basis. Basically, try to live with anxiety, see it in a different way, and try to use anxiety in your favor. Try to control the anxiety monster and not the other way around. That's my whole premise of the book, and that's what I've been discussing, not discussing, but talking about this in this podcast. As I said before, what I want to do is just to create a connection with the audience in a way that I cannot do it in the book or as a writer. Just for you to get to know me a little better, and just to introduce you to what I do, to the methods that I explain, not only in my book but in all other of the media platforms that I have, the social media and my blog and everything. So basically, that's what's it. And today I want to talk to you about a key point of all of this healing process, and something that for anxious people is very hard, probably at the beginning. But I know that with time and practice, you get to take the most advantage of this method, or what I'm going to talk about to you today is meditation. I know that an anxious person can create resistance to meditation. At the beginning, it happened to me. I at the beginning when I was trying to find methods and things to cope with anxiety, of course, everybody talks to you about meditation. It's like, why you haven't been trying meditation? And for me, it was like, this is impossible, like um, just to sit there and try to quiet my mind. If my mind is never quiet, I'm an anxious person. I have like thousands of thoughts at the same time, and it is impossible. But I think that's a myth. Like, when you think that meditating is just sitting there and quiet your mind, I think that's the first thing you need to know, that is not true. And this is what I did first, when I because I tried so many things, and I was like, okay, let's give it a try, let's see. So what I did first, and what I recommend people to do when they are new to meditation, and when they tell me, oh, you know what, I have anxiety, and I want to try to find a way to heal. Uh, Particularly on meditation, you need to read a lot about the subject so you can get familiar about what is meditation and how you can take advantage of it. And don't listen to people, uh, because okay, of course you need to listen to people, but what I'm trying to say here is, like, if you have those preconceived notions of meditation and you go into the practice with those preconceived notions, it's gonna be hard. So you need to try to find your own meaning for the practice and learn from others, of course. What I did was reading first. Reading. I didn't go into meditation just with a tutorial on YouTube. No. What I did first was try to read about the practice. And there is one book I completely recommend to you if you want to give meditation a try, and I really want to encourage you to do it because meditation can change your life. This book changed my whole perspective on the meditation practices, and it was nice to hear it from the perspective of a person that had anxiety. I'm talking about 10% Happier by Dan Harris. It's a book that talks about his own story. He starts with an experience he had uh, by having a panic attack on national television. And from there, he explains all what he lived through and how he discovered meditation and how he applied to his life this practice and how it changed for him. And he explains it all. He explains all the feelings, all the methodology that is out there. He explains philosophies. He went through all sorts of experiences and events, and it's a very nice book to read and for you to have a notion and like just change those preconceived, because that's another thing I want to tell you. Meditation is a personal thing. It's like um I believe how people handle their spirituality. I think that's how people handle these meditation practices. And also, you need to know that there are a lot of techniques out there to meditate. And once you get familiar with these ideologies and all the philosophies behind it, you need to try and try and try the meditation practice that best resonates with you, because it's like a diet in a sort of way that when you try to lose weight, you try and try different diets, and you see that for a person worked South Beach diet, or the for another person is I don't know, low carb diet or whatever, and there are tons, and everybody has their own take on diets. So that's the same thing with meditation. So I think you need to practice and practice and practice and find ways to incorporate it into your routine life, and you enjoy it. Because if you go into it forcing it and just not understanding what you are really trying to search for, it's going to be very difficult that you find that connection. So um, again, read a lot about meditation, and then you practice and practice and practice, and I'm pretty sure you will find something specifically that will resonate with you and that you will enjoy. uh, in my case, I remember I also read, I told you before, I follow Gabrielle Bernstein, and she uses a lot of Kundalini practices into her methods, and it caught my attention. So I started investigating about it, and I love the way the mantras have meaning, and the sounds, and that the mantras help me to just get my attention onto that sound of the mantras, and just try to think on the meaning behind the mantra that I'm trying to meditate on. So I started Kundalini, and I think that's the one that resonates with me. There are also a lot of apps out there, a lot. And for example, Headspace or Calm are like the biggest ones. I believe those also can help you because they have at the beginning also it helped me to have these guided meditations, when they tell you exactly what you need to do. Also, how to incorporate the breathing into the meditation. So it's like a lot of things that you learn, like driving a car. You need to learn while you meditate. But once you get into that daily practice, I'm telling you, it's a great way for you to uh, get that energy and connection to your inner self. That is what ultimately I think will help you to cope with not only anxiety but a lot of other things that are happening around you. So this is something I really, really do encourage. Meditation changed my life, and I think it will change yours if you haven't given it a try. So another thing that I do is try to incorporate meditation with other things that I usually enjoy, and it has also helped me to just create routine and habits during my week that really keep me uh, on ground. I think people, uh, another misconception is that you need to be uh, happy 100% of the time, or excited about everything, and that's the ultimate goal. And I will talk about happiness and emotions in another episode of what I thought about that. But I think you, as a human being, have to embrace all the emotions that come to you. Um, and sometimes those emotions are sadness, are grief, desperation, frustration. And you need to feel those as well, because those the pain, all these experiences that are difficult or challenging are the ones that will teach you the most. So life is not about just going through it by not feeling those negative emotions. You obviously need to feel those, but it's how you navigate when you have those times, how you how you get through those times, those storms. That's how these tools like meditation will help you. For example, last year, um, when I had the coronavirus in November, I believe that for me it was um, more exhausting mentally than physically. And I think I mentioned that in a previous podcast, but I remember that meditation helped me to go through those 2 3 weeks that I was, you know, uh, staring at my ceiling, trying to not think about what could happen, because when you have um, a sickness or something that you are going through, you tend to time travel and just think what is going to happen, what is you get your attention into the future that hasn't happened yet. So it's mentally it's exhausting. So I guess meditation helped me through those times, and I incorporated meditation into different things. For example, I do a lot of journaling. Of course, I'm a writer, and it's easy for me, or easier for me to sit down and write and do these kind of things. But um, I developed a method in which I could incorporate three things that will help me to uh, give that meditation practice a little bit more of like substance. So what I do first is pray. It's called the pray meditation journaling practice. And if you are into that, you can check the Momxious website. There is a guide for that. But basically, is I use prayer at the beginning, and it's not like it. It can be a prayer, a religious prayer that speaks to you, or a prayer that you invent for yourself, or just some motivation, guidance, or whatever you like to call prayer. For me, is I use several prayers that I learned since I was a child, but also I have written my own. And that praying part, it just takes a few minutes, 2 3 minutes, uh, where I kind of get centered, get my attention into a humble state of asking either for help or just saying a gratitude, or just explaining the universe what my intentions are. That's what that is for me, praying. Um, that keeps me that puts me, like, it silences the noise. Kind of prayer silence the noise for me, the noise of, the other things and preoccupations that I have around. So after that, i I put my kundalini meditation, and sometimes it depends on the intention of the day that you that I choose the meditation for the day. So I meditate. Sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's 20 minutes. So I that's another thing. You don't need like half an hour or an hour to meditate daily. Just a few minutes a day can make a huge difference in your day and in your life. Little by little, you will see. And then after I meditate, and I take a few minutes to journal. In my guide that I mentioned, that is in the Momxious website, momxious.com, it's called the journaling practice. That's where I incorporated meditating and praying. I have my own questions that I answer every morning and every night, and they help me to uh, stay mindful of the present time. And I don't do this every day. Sometimes I don't journal. Sometimes I just pray. Sometimes I just meditate, or sometimes I do the three things. But I created this guide. If you're interested in that, I really think it can help you and to understand how I incorporate meditation into my daily life and my daily habits. It's something that really was a game, like it changed the game for me completely, and that has helped me and has worked for me, and that's why I want to recommend that to you. Another thing that I have experienced is that I incorporate meditation into my running practice. I was a person that was occasionally a runner. I was not, you know, no, I ran a few races here and there, but I don't consider myself like a runner. But then this year I decided, you know what, and that was an idea that I had also after I read a book, Atomic Habits. It's another book that I recommend to you. I listen to that book every morning when I was driving my kids to school. When I was coming back home, I put it on my Audible, and I started listening to it. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna create myself a challenge. I love to create challenges. That's another thing you need to know about me. I love the challenges because they make you step out of your comfort zone, and it's amazing. So what I did, I was trying to incorporate the meditation into my running practices, and see what it where it was gonna take me. So I created this challenge, and I was running uh, almost all the entire month of February. I went like from 28 days, I went running 18 days. And on those 18 days, I kept conversations with myself, kind of thing, even though I had my music on. And I have mentioned that in my blog in paolasur.com, all the experience I had while running, and having these spiritual conversations. It was it was a meditation. It was meditating, not on the entire run, but from sometimes I try to get my energy, get my attention onto some thoughts, and just try to have these dialogues with myself. So I guess if you can find a way to incorporate meditation into your daily life, into your daily practices, in things that you love already, in things that you can, it will be easier for you. You create the habit, you will get better, you will enjoy it better. And that's the message that I wanted to give you today. Sometimes we have preconceptions of things that we think, oh, I already know that, or that's not gonna work for me. But you need to give it a try. You listen to a lot of people, and you need to learn to take whatever maybe is positive or might work for you, and maybe the garbage you need to just let it out. But I think meditation, uh, it's something that they should teach us since we are kids, and I definitely trying to encourage my own kids to start. Like my daughter, she downloaded that Headspace, and she does it, and she says it's great. So, and she's 10. So I think by the time I think also as parents, we we are hesitant to just try to teach these methods to our kids, but I think it could be really helpful for them. So this is what, to sum up, meditation, give it a try and try and try until you find something that resonates with you. um, Read a lot. There is a lot of authors, a lot of methods out there, a lot of literature about meditation. So just read, try, check that book. Listen, that book is very good. 10% Happier by Dan Harris is, I'm telling you, I think it's something it's a must read for every person that has anxiety, or maybe want to try to get to know meditation and the philosophies and all this stuff behind it in a way that you can relate, because it's a very he has a very nice stories out there. um and then check out, keep reading my blogs, keep checking my social media, because there are things that are coming in the next, well, there are always things coming out there. The momxious.com page is also something where I post my guides and all the resources. So check that out, and I hope you guys have a great week, a great day, and just let's remain positive. Let's try to remain, hopeful, and don't forget to just help each other, because that's what we are here for. Thank you for listening, and I hope to have you again next time. Bye.